good, but how do you see that game defensively for you guys?
No, it's trash. Absolute trash. Don't know where to start. Didn't recognise the scout being executed. Guys got defeated, down themselves early. Our ball pickups weren't there. Our tags on the offensive boards weren't there. We're letting guys get free run. We got beaten transition, executed on all their plays that they shouldn't be executing on us. Horrendous.
Considering you have played undermanned before, are you disappointed in the way that the guys didn't respond to the adversity that hit them, especially in that third quarter?
There's no excuses for the performance we put out there regardless. Like the undermanning things, like missing those players, like Rowdy in warm-ups and Kyle before the game, and Joe obviously a couple of days ago. Those things don't affect your defence as much as they probably affect our offence. Well, no, it's not true. I mean, there's guys who have been ready during the course of the week for certain roles from a defensive standpoint, matchups, all those sorts of things. So that gets thrown out. But it wasn't so much. It was more to do with, I thought, the effort. I thought was really poor, and I can't put a finger on why. We had everything to play for tonight. We had a team that was coming off a bad loss that had to travel, and it was everything there. And even at halftime when we were really, I didn't think we had a good first half. That third quarter was disgusting. There's going to be a really long video session for that.
At what point in warm-ups did you know that Ryan wasn't going to be available? Did you have an idea of the severity?
I wasn't watching warm-ups when it happened. Obviously the game was delayed a little bit, so I don't know, 15 minutes before the game maybe, I find out.
You have no idea on the severity of that?
No, nothing, no.
You mentioned last week you were cautious to talk about Ryan coming back, and how frustrating is it? You just can't seem to get continuity in playing people.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Really frustrating for him. I know he was tremendously upset before the game. I was pretty freaking upset when I heard the news as well. But the first thing you think, okay, change the whiteboard. What's our matchups here? Because this is after our team meeting before the game, and it's just like, well, okay, we need to sort of start again on the fly, and that seemed to shake us up a little bit, and it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. There was guys given opportunities tonight who really should have been trying to clasp it with both hands, and I think we failed in that.
I mean, one area you seem to be really doing well in the first half, especially was the rebounds, especially with your man to your right. And then, as you mentioned earlier, the second half, that really evened up in the second half. What do you sort of put that down to?
Well, it evened up because we missed a lot of shots, and that gives them a lot of chances to, rebound defensive, or get defensive rebounds. So I mean, there's a numerical thing to that, but certainly our effort levels dropped. Sometimes there's a predictability, and no one talks about it better than this man, but like offensive rebounding, it helps when there's a predictability to the offense, when you know where the shots are going, where they're coming from on the floor. And I thought that ball just stalled in that second half, and it was held up too long by certain players. We weren't in our structure, the ball wasn't popping, and therefore you don't know when the shot's going up. And therefore you can't really sort of time it, get yourself into a position to rebound, because you might still be needed for some offensive structure, because you just don't know what's going on out there. And there was a bit of that going on tonight, so that's part of it. I thought they just worked really hard. They came out after half-time with a real sense of purpose, and I thought we failed a test that they threw at us.
And they also seem to have a bit more of an even spread of contributors. I mean, with you guys, it seemed to be Alan and Mitch Creek and a bit of Brown as well, and not much else. Is that how you saw it as well? Or?
Well, stats will tell that to you. We had Trey Keller had an extraordinarily quiet game. Gary had 16. Sauce 30 and Creaky 24, but there's nothing out of the rest of the guys, and it's really disappointing. Things happen when players come out of the lineup. That floor started to shrink a little bit, made it hard for Sauce, and then obviously they started doubling, but that was okay. The ball got kicked out. We had some wide open looks. We didn't knock them down, but that floor did start to shrink a little bit, which makes it a little bit harder to penetrate at times. But Kyle should be fine. I don't know what's going to happen. happen with Rowdy. So we're going to have to work out a way to be effective at the offensive end with guys down.
Alan's obviously bittersweet for you. It was probably your best game in the competition, but obviously the pretty heavy loss. How did you sort of, what were your emotions after that?
Yeah, just hate losing.
Yeah.
Especially in the throwdown. The build-up for this game is massive, and I just feel like we just didn't live up to the expectations that we set for ourselves. And so, while it's nice to have the media coming in and asking and saying, "Hey, is it because these guys didn't play today, didn't suit up?" But I mean, I'll just say it flat out: we just didn't perform the way that we should perform. Regardless of who's out, we have a next man up mentality. And I just think as a total group today, we just didn't put forth enough effort to earn a win in this game, and we didn't have it.
Alan, you came out super aggressive from the get-go, and you kept that going for most of the game. And Isaac's not an easy matchup, not an easy guy to score against. What was it about that you liked about that matchup? And I guess how comfortable are you feeling offensively out there on the floor at the moment?
Yeah, I don't know if it had anything necessarily to do with the matchup. We have a team full of guys that can go out and score it. I'm one of them. Today was my night, and so I just look and try to see what the defense was giving me. A lot of times I had baseline opportunities, so I would put it down and just use my body and create space and then get either a foul or finish at the basket. And so, like I said, just taking advantage of what the defense gave me tonight was a big part of it. But to answer your question, I'm feeling really comfortable offensively now. I feel like I'm kind of getting it rolling. So that's a good point to take away from this, I guess.
And Simon, was that by design to go through Alan a lot tonight early on in this matchup?
Oh, without a doubt. They're missing some guys up front. So you want to try and attack their Achilles heel. He did a great job of presenting himself there early, and I think most teams you will have found over the last couple of weeks have been trying to do that to Melbourne. And they held up in that second half though. They had to use, they resorted to double teaming out of that to help with the fouls for David and Isaac, taking the ball out of our post hands and making other guys defeat them, and we were unable to do that.
Is one positive take out of this for you that it's another example of you knowing how to get the ball to a particular player in spots to get them comfortable? You saw it kind of with Trey last weekend and where he can be effective. You've seen it with Alan. You've seen it from other guys throughout the team. So can you now go into this FIBA window and kind of figure out how to then put those things together a bit more consistently coming out on the other end?
I think we'll be looking at other things during the FIBA window. It's a nice silver lining you've drawn there, though. You're trying. Look, I don't think we've had too much issue trying to involve Sauce into the offence. He's been tremendous all season long. He's stayed out of foul trouble, and once we've accommodated that or navigated that, he's been a highly effective player at both ends of the floor for us. So, whilst it was nice to get extras out, I think it was mostly with his work on the O boards as well as just the general play. It wasn't necessarily always going to him in the block. It was a great game by him. I guess that's the one tick we get in the box about some of the targets that we had early for that game. But it didn't sustain over the 4 quarters, so back to the drawing board for us.
And Alan, what was said amongst the playing group right after the game? I'm sure Mitch doesn't mince his words in a situation like this. So what did the playing group have to say after that?
Yeah, I think the cool thing and the good thing about this team is that we're honest with each other. And so obviously Creaky's a big vocal leader and had a good amount to say, but we kind of just got in there and said, that's not good enough. That's not who we are. That's not the identity that we want to carry throughout this season. And if we want to reach our goals, we can't have letdowns like that. And then at the end of it, it was almost like this is one game, something we're going to reflect on and learn from and move forward off of. So we've lost before and been able to bounce back, and hopefully we'll be able to do the same after this one.
Good. Thanks.